Have you ever wondered why being the nice one sometimes feels like a curse? You're polite. You're understanding. You say yes, even when your heart says no. But deep inside, you're exhausted, frustrated, and maybe quietly resentful. Why do the people who give the most often end up feeling the emptiest? It's the paradox of kindness, the silent burnout of people who were raised to please, and the invisible cost of being the nice one. Today, we'll go deep into the psychology behind why some people become addicted to approval and how niceness becomes the very thing that holds them back from living freely, truthfully, and powerfully. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand how too much kindness can quietly destroy self-respect and what it really takes to break free. To understand the nice one, we need to go back to where it begins, not in adulthood, but childhood. In almost every culture, children learn early that being good earns approval. When they're quiet, obedient, and polite, adults smile, teachers praise, parents reward. But when they express anger, disagreement, or boundaries, suddenly love feels conditional. So a pattern forms. You start believing that to be loved, you must be agreeable. To be accepted, you must never upset anyone. Psychologists call this fawning, one of the four trauma responses alongside fight, flight, and freeze. Instead of fighting or running from discomfort, nice people appease. They adapt, blend in, and sacrifice authenticity for safety. It doesn't come from weakness. It comes from survival. And that's what makes it so hard to see, because it feels like the right thing to do. Fast forward to adulthood. That same survival mechanism becomes your personality. You become the reliable friend, the supportive coworker, the partner who never complains even when you should, and people love you for it. At first, you're easy to be around. You never cause drama. But over time, something shifts. You start noticing that people expect your compliance. They take your time for granted. Your generosity becomes invisible. The irony? The nicer you are, the less respect you often get. Because in human psychology, what's always available is rarely valued. You've unknowingly built a reputation not for strength, but for softness. And the more you try to maintain it, the more invisible you become. At some point, the nice one reaches a silent breaking point, a moment of quiet rage. It's the day you do everything right and still feel unseen. It's when your kindness is met not with gratitude, but expectation. That's when you realize people have learned to love the version of you that's convenient for them, not the version that's real. And that realization hurts deeply. Studies show that chronic people pleasers experience higher levels of anxiety, depression, and resentment. Their self-worth becomes externally regulated, tied to the approval of others. People-pleasing is emotional self-abandonment disguised as kindness. The breaking point isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, like slowly losing yourself in 1,000 tiny yeses. Here's where the story takes a darker turn. Because the true cost of being the nice one isn't exhaustion. It's identity erosion. Every time you avoid conflict to keep peace, every time you say, "it's okay" when it's not, you teach your mind that your feelings don't matter. Over time, This kills your intuition. You stop trusting your own judgment. You start asking others what's right because you've forgotten how to decide for yourself. And it goes further because the world rewards assertiveness, not passivity. While the nice one avoids confrontation, others take opportunities. While they hesitate to promote themselves, others speak up. Being too nice doesn't just cost you peace, it can cost you progress. And that's the tragedy. Not that you were too kind, but that your kindness was never meant to be currency. So why do we keep doing it? Why do some people struggle to say no, even when it's destroying them? It's partly neurological. When you please someone, your brain releases dopamine, the same reward chemical that fires during praise or affection. You literally feel good when others approve of you. It's also social conditioning. In many cultures, especially collectivist ones, harmony is prized over honesty. Disagreement feels like disloyalty. And for many nice ones, guilt becomes the emotional leash that keeps them compliant. But beneath all of that lies fear, the fear of rejection, the fear of being alone, the fear that without being nice, you won't be loved. And that fear is what keeps millions of people trapped, smiling on the outside, crumbling inside. In today's world, niceness has become a brand. Social media amplifies it. We perform empathy. We curate politeness. But here's the contradiction. The same society that praises kindness often exploits it. In business, in relationships, in politics, being too agreeable makes you easier to manipulate. That's why boundaries are no longer selfish. They're survival tools. The world doesn't need more people who are nice. It needs people who are real. But here's the good news. You can unlearn people-pleasing. It starts with discomfort. The first no that feels terrifying but freeing. It grows with self-trust, realizing you don't need to earn love through sacrifice. When you start being real, some people will leave, but those who stay, those are your people. Not the ones who love your compliance, but your courage. That's when the nice one evolves. From approval seeker to truth teller. From peacekeeper to peacemaker. Because true kindness doesn't come from fear. It comes from strength. So here are 3 truths to take with you. 1. Kindness without boundaries becomes self-betrayal. Say yes when it's true, not when it's expected. 2. You don't owe everyone access to your energy. Protect your peace like it's currency, because it is. 3. Being real will cost you people, but pretending will cost you yourself. So, are you ready to stop being the nice one and start being the real one? If this message resonated, leave a comment below. Tell me one boundary you're learning to set, and if you want more videos like this, subscribe, stay curious, and remember, nice people aren't weak. They're just learning to finally be honest.